Enjoy.
Yo,
what it do? Chad. There you are, my little Chad cookie.
What's up, Boo?
Jessica, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Well, we're all right. We'll complain about it here in a little bit. Believe us. Oh, I'm fine. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Chad, how was your day?
It was a busy one today. We got a very large capital expansion project we'll work on coming out of different ports into railing into Atlanta, and everything's got to be delivered in a certain order. And rails are nice enough to only give you 24 hours after notification, but they'll send that notification dang near midnight. And so a lot of moving parts that we had to get organized today. So it was a whole bunch of meetings and staring at Excel all day.
Lovely. Okay, I don't know what's that. Hunter, how was your day, broski?
another day in paradise, my friend. Just a little too much work, but that's always a good thing. So no complaints. Just trucking on. How about yourself?
I'm okay. Let's ask Jessica. We don't want the lady to go last. She'll think we're sexist.
No, I'm not that sensitive.
How was your day, Jessica?
Another day in trucking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What time did you start your day?
When I'm needed. Sometimes day starts at 2 a.m. Sometimes it starts at 1 p.m.
Oh man, I wish I had that. That sounds like a Hunter schedule.
An as-need basis.
Well, that's good.
Amen.
Jeff,
Jeff
the bodacious cowboy, man. I love Jeff. We're gonna have to have Jeff on. He runs a little podcast too, man. But Jeff is fucking stellar, man.
Dude's got me wanting to be over here like.
That's what, dude. Look at this, dude. I love his killer stash, bro.
That is a legendary stash.
Dude, it is. His is, bro. If you say Jeff Dickinson, I remember when I first asked Hunter about him. I said, you know who Jeff Dickinson is? He goes, oh man, the dude with the badass stash. And I was like, yes, exactly.
That's it.
Anyway, my day was pretty solid, man. I will say I did fell a load today. I was really, really upset about that. It really hurt me deeply. I never fell loads, and so it really affected me. But then the trucking gods decided to smile on me, and I had a $1,500 profit day. So, like, I'll take a little small like fell in the load, man. And but other than that, it was pretty fucking stellar, man. I can't complain. Well, as I say, I could complain. I just got to find somebody to listen to.
I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, I know where you live. I'll just come up there and look for the fucking unedged driveway.
Well, hey, speaking of stellar, have y'all heard of freight management systems?
No, we have not.
Can you tell us about them?
Let me show you this little video.
Outstanding.
Ooh, look at that, dude. That's a killer ass commercial you made for them, bro. You got to hit their stuff across the bottom here real quick, man. Where we at? There we go. We talk about them every night. FMS, they're one of our show sponsors for the month. Henry Sheldon's been on the Carney. That's his new nickname for me, is the Carney.
Yeah, Jessica, you're getting on with the beard for the Carney.
Yes, for real. Yes, he was the one that was on. We were messing with you, Jessica. Anyway, their software is incredible. Brokers, carriers, even shippers. Go check them out. They change stuff every single day. And next, we're going to talk about Karen. we had Karen on Friday too. Last Friday. She had some incredible content that she put out. We had a bunch of great questions. She knows a shit ton about insurance, guys, for truckers, brokers, all that stuff. You know, you need information on anything, rates, quotes, how all that stuff works, what kind of coverages you need. She is the one to get with, and here's her stuff. Boom! There we go.
Beautiful.
Holla, holla. Man, bro, I love these little commercials we done. Jessica, we're going to make you a fly one too. I know you like that, huh? I know you don't be seen on no other live show except the Logistics Lounge.
Let me get in the
Being
kitchen.
here.
Let me get in the kitchen.
That's right. Hunter Dewey be in the kitchen, man. For sure. You sure do, bro. I mean, you be just chilling in the lounge, bro, like fucking geeks, and just making videos and posting them like, bro, look at this. Oh, that shit's so fun, man.
Dean Chase is asking, are we all in logistics?
What?
Dean Chase is asking, are you guys all in logistics?
Depends on who's asking.
Yes, we are. Dean. Dean, yes, we are. Hunter does international and drayage. Chad, well, he does whatever he wants to. No.
He eats crayons.
All of it.
Yeah, Chad does all of it. As his name says, ODOG. OD stands for overdimensional, so that's part of Chad's big deal. Jessica, she is in the carrier management side. It pretty much says it all. She helps carriers manage their business. She does a variety of things for them, and she will talk here in a bit and tell you all about that. And myself, I'm what I guess you call a conventional broker. I work in truckload and LTL for van, reefer, flatbed, step deck, hot shot, box trucks, that kind of shit. So yeah, there you go. Hold on. Dean said, is the fuel consumption big cost in logistics? Yes, it is the absolute biggest cost there is. We're going to save this and let Jessica touch on this. Dean, if you'll chill with us for just 5 minutes, we need to do our quick little news segment, and I will pull your comment back up on the screen, and she will touch that. Broker Carrier Summit Tampa coming up August. No, we have not, Jeff, but we will check it out, man. I will. We'll get right to it. But first, let's go ahead and knock out this news, and then we can bring Jessica on and go on with our night. So here we go. Boom, man! I love these little videos, bro. I get so excited every time I see them. I do, man. I think they're just so fucking awesome. Anyway, I don't think I talked about this on the show, but if you follow any of my social media, my LinkedIn and our logistics pages or logistics lounge pages, then you saw the article about me talking about driverless trucks and how one of my biggest hatreds in this industry, actually just period, is EVs and driverless trucks. So ironically, I was talking about how these are going to make the industry suffer, in my opinion, and California, of all places, has been the first one to come out and say that they are going to ban complete driverless trucks. And basically all they're saying that they want to do is they want to leave human beings in the trucks, as a safety precaution. I don't know about you guys. I love our technological world, but to be honest with you, like I just told these people, the internet could shut down tomorrow. We could go back to using nothing but landlines and fax machines, and I would survive fucking fine. So, but the irony of all of this, well, I'm going to say the irony, I guess it really is the thing. It is the people that are against this are all the backers, are all the investors in this technology. And just basically to get down to brass tacks, the only reason they're against it is because they're going to lose out on their promise to their investors that, if you buy our driverless shit boxes, then you're going to get to fire all your drivers and you're going to save on that huge expense of paying your driver. Because what other reason is there? Honestly, there's not. There is no other reason that you can give that will not to have a driver in the truck. And they go on to say that adding a human back to it will basically do away with the point of having driverless trucks, which is safety. And they go over all their damn statistics about how many miles they've driven and no accidents and so forth and so on. And again, man, I mean, honestly, I don't give a shit. You know, it's technology. Dude, technology in this industry fails every day. If that goes down for an hour, almost our entire industry comes to a fucking halt. What happens is if these data servers and all these places where these trucks are ran from, what if they lose power one day, all their stuff goes out? What happens to all those trucks on the road? You know what I mean? What is going to be the backup? You say it's supposed to make freight more efficient, but if your shit goes down and your truck stops in the middle of the highway, what are you going to do? You know, and what if the technology just fails, period? Chad and I talked earlier about, there was a picture that went around the industry a few months ago of one of these trucks getting stopped in its tracks by bird shit. I mean, a bird dropped a deuce on one of the cameras, and the truck stopped. Like, that was just the end of that. So there's my little bit. As you can see, it was AB 316 is the law that they passed, and honestly, I'm for it, and I'm quite surprised that California was the one to do it. So there we go. From that, we are going to move right into Jessica. But first, let's roll this beautiful bean footage. Boom! Look at that. We made that just for you, Jessica. You was the
Very nice. Very nice.
First one to get one of those videos. The very first one.
Wow. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You are a guinea pig. So, but Jessica, we're just going to let you roll right into it. If you want me to pull up your website and share my screen, if you want to go over things there, then that's fine. Just let me know. Go ahead and take it.
You can do that if you'd like. So I am Jessica Lopez. I am CEO of Bluebonnet Carrier Management. Bluebonnet because I'm from Texas. Carrier management because that's what my business does. We manage carriers from single owner operators to multi-fleet owners. So whatever the goal is that you're looking for, we help with assist that. We help guys OTR, local, regional. We have frac sand, oil and gas division as well. There are other services that we offer. We just partnered with Legal Shield. So that is also a service that we offer, CDL protection for carriers. You'd be surprised how many guys don't even know that their CDLs are at risk. And we offer that kind of help for them as well. Amongst other things, we are also a official vendor for the United States government. So that's government contracting as well. I get asked a lot of times, is it hard to get into government contracting? What do you got to do? Not that hard. It really isn't that hard. And we will also be getting into DOT compliance very soon.
Awesome.
There's my site right there.
So with your government contracting, are you through the SDDC or do you do like local RFP stuff or I guess more local government?
Yeah, so we're starting off with local. That's what our goal is, to start off with local and eventually get up in the ranks. But yeah, so there I have different divisions in what I do. So with the oil and gas, we place trucks with customers that haul frac sand, crude oil, water hauling. So whatever that customer is looking for, we bring them those drivers and then we micromanage those trucks for them. You haul frac sand before, there are 150 trucks on site. So it's kind of hard for these customers to really keep an eye on each one of those trucks. We'll manage all the administration behind every one of those trucks that we bring them, from their tickets, their settlements, their pay, any pay discrepancies. With the amount of trucks that we have on site, we do battle pay discrepancies on a weekly basis. So we get that money back from them. Yeah, we've recovered thousands of dollars for trucks.
Nice. Going to bat for the boys.
Yeah, they don't have the time to really go and calculate what their tonnage was, and So they're going to get that deposit, they're going to accept it, but we keep a very close eye on all of those settlements and what we track, their tickets, their tonnage. As soon as we see a discrepancy, we email that over. And because we already have a relationship built with these customers, they're a lot quicker to reply and get that fixed. That difference will be deposited right away for our carriers.
That's pretty
Awesome.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is. Same thing for the crude oil and the water haulers. So wherever the work is at, with frac sand, of course, we service a lot of Texas. That's West Texas. That's frac country right there. But we work with customers in the Dakotas, Ohio, PA. So just depending on where the work is at, where the carrier is willing to go, we do get some guys that are very stuck on West Texas. But then we have guys that they'll follow where that money's at, and we'll place them there.
Absolutely. So what's your process of, do carriers reach out to you, or I guess, like you said, you have the customer set in place? If I were a driver that was wanting to get into something like you have going on, what would that process look like?
It's a mix of both. So oftentimes it's the customer that has a truck order. So they'll reach out to me and they'll be like, hey, we need 20 to 30 trucks, just the units. This is the job. This is how long the job is going to last. And so from that point, all the information that I gather, I go out and I get those trucks. A lot of times those guys already are in my pool of drivers, and I'll just send a text message, a mass email like, hey, this is what this is. Who wants to jump on board? Whoever decides to get on board, those are the guys that I onboard. And if I don't have enough drivers, then I do my recruiting to bring those guys in. So with frac sand hauling, they have to be certified for oil and gas. AQS, SafeRun, EC. We're affiliates with several websites out there that get these guys certified. So we'll send them there. They'll get certified, and then we onboard them. If not, let's say, for example, we have 10 trucks that are on the same site. Their job finishes November. They'll be calling us around that time, let us know that their well has been done, and then we'll just reassign them somewhere else, place them somewhere else, so that they don't have that gap between work.
Nice.
Yeah. So the whole goal is to keep them going nonstop. Got to understand too that a lot of time these guys, they're away from home weeks. I have guys that spend a month to 2 months out on the field. They don't go home. So in between a well, they might go home for a week, a couple days, and then we'll bring them back to where they need to be, put them back to work.
Gotcha. So are these drivers providing their own equipment? Like, you're talking about they go from one job to another. Obviously there's some lay down time in between. What's that process looking like? I mean, do these people have, or I say people, but do these drivers have any issues with, being away for so long, having to go to all these different spots? Or
well, on the equipment, that depends on the customer. Sometimes the customer will say, hey, we need 10 carriers that have their own end dumps. So I have to provide the trucks with that trailer for this job. Sometimes they'll say we need 15 trucks with blowers. Well, they're going to be using pneumatics, but they're going to provide the pneumatics. So you just need to make sure that your truck has the blower in place so that you can haul that pneumatic. So it just depends, what customer we're working with, what the job requires. These customers, they got to do what their contract is telling them to do. So if their contract is telling them that they need to haul this wet frac sand, for example, in a belly dump, well, oftentimes the driver's going to have their own trailer because there's a scarcity of belly dumps right now. If they're going to be hauling double box chassis, well, they just need the unit, they just need their truck, they attach the chassis, get their boxes, and then they start hauling sand. So whatever the customer is needing, that's what we look for, that's what we provide them. And then as far as home time, I mean, I tell carriers all the time, you want to be home or you want to make money?
Amen.
It's kind of hard to
do it or not.
It's kind of hard to have both. I have guys that came from Wisconsin and they are in Texas, and they have to leave their families for a month, 2 months at a time. But they're making
drivers don't.
Yeah, Yeah, they're
if
making
you
a
want to go get
living.
that money. So for touching back on the equipment side, so say the customer needs you to provide the equipment, but the carrier doesn't have that equipment. Do you have partnerships in place, or do you like assist anybody in finding the proper equipment to get the job done, or
So depending on the location, we do have contacts with certain trailer rentals,
Mhm.
trailer rental businesses that they might be able to help them. But when you're looking at, as I said, belly dumps for a couple months ago, there was a huge scarcity on that. Like we had belly dump work, but we couldn't find the carriers that had that trailer. They couldn't find them to rent them. We had guys trying to buy them. They were just nowhere around, right? So you either
Right.
got to jump on that opportunity as soon as it's there, or you're gonna be left without a trailer. Um, the contacts that we do have for trailers, as soon as we know, hey, this is the trailer type you're going to have to bring on site because the customer is not going to provide that, we'll just send that information out to that carrier and try to get them hooked up with the trailer. It's not a guarantee, but it doesn't hurt to reach out and see if they have that available.
Gotcha. So what causes that kind of deficit? Because belly trailer, that's a very niche,
Work,
type of equipment to be used. Work.
supply and demand, yeah. So with the frac sand industry, we've seen double box chassis. They're pretty much everywhere. But then you had the pneumatics that were in for a good little run, and then all of a sudden those kind of went out. Then they started switching over into the hopper bottoms, belly dumps, end dumps because they realized that it's more cost efficient for that customer to haul wet frac sand in a belly
Mhm.
dump or an end dump rather than having one carrier that hauls dry sand in a box and then you have a water hauler. Now you got to pay the water hauler, you got to pay the frac sand driver. So to haul wet frac sand, you just need that one truck, that one type of trailer, and
Yeah.
it's less traffic on site, more cost efficient for the customer. Of course, they're going to want to go that route. So for it to be a scarcity, it's going to be supply and demand.
Yeah, I guess with anything, but I'm glad you brought that up though. Like with these customers, obviously they have to get the job done, but are they going to help you out in that situation? Are they
They have
willing to
sand
make
quotas.
changes? And
Yeah, they have sand quotas, so they have to move a certain amount of tons per day of sand, and if they're not meeting that quota, they have to basically put foot to ass on these carriers. Either they'll issue a what is it? They'll have them work like in shifts, which a lot of guys don't like that, right? Because they want to run the maximum that they can. But if they're not meeting that sand quota, well, they're going to be forced to mandate um, a shift, and that's gonna minimize the amount of loads that one carrier can do in that 24-hour period.
all right, especially being away from home, you want to maximize like those kind of guys, like you said.
Right. Yeah. And
If you're
there's
going, you want to make that money, but
yeah, and
limiting.
there's a big, misconception about oil and gas. I hear a lot of it from carriers that are trying to get in and they're like, well, I want to go and I want to make $10,000 a week. And I have to remind them, you can make that, yeah, but you might make 2,000 next week. And that's gross. That's gross. That's not what you're taking home, right?
Mhm.
I've had guys that have gross $15,000 a week back to back for a month straight, and all of a sudden they have a $2,000 week. So it's not always going to be best case scenario. There is money to be made, but you have your ups and downs, you have your wins, you have your losses. It's really how you manage those funds when you receive them. Um, because they still have to pay for that insurance, they still have to pay for that diesel, right? They're coming in as owner operators, they're responsible for all those costs anyway. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, we definitely talked about that before. With anything in logistics, there's always that roller coaster of the market. So when the market's good, go make your money, but also don't spend all your money because there's going to be that downtime as well. So
yeah, downtime is definitely key in frac sand. There's so many variables that take place on site that a lot of guys don't take. They don't take that into consideration. If we had a site that went down over a beehive a couple weeks ago, it was like a massive beehive that the guys at the silo, they couldn't work. they had to call an exterminator in, so they had to shut down that site for hours. Well, that shutdown is going to cause all that line of trucks to just be waiting there until that situation's handled.
So you're the one that has to cool the waters in that situation.
Yeah, they'll be calling me like, we don't know what's going on. There's a line of 50 trucks and they're not moving. And so at that point, yeah, I'll reach out to the customer just to kind of get an update, because these carriers are going to get very impatient. They're going to start texting that dispatch line like, what's going on? And I always tell them, like, you want to be polite. That dispatcher, they're going to remember you. They're going to be like, okay, this truck number, they're being an ass. They will remember that. So you want to approach them with respect, be just have manners.
Absolutely. It's not hard to do good business.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Keep your emotions off the table. That's for sure.
So,
Exactly.
Jessica, you wanna touch on some of the things that you do for other things you do for your carriers? I see on here, obviously you do some dispatch and fleet and truck management. You want to maybe touch on the truck management stuff, and then I'd also like you to talk about the driver plan as well for the legal part of it after that.
Yeah, so the carrier management, we do anything that entails with that carrier, whatever they need. So we even offer hiring services for owner operators. We have fleets that they'll have 5-10 trucks. I've worked with a fleet up to 30 trucks. And oftentimes these guys, they're the owner of this MC, of this authority. They don't really know what to do to hire on drivers. They don't want to deal with it. So they'll reach out to us. We will vet them out. I have a background in HR as well from many, many years ago. So we'll reach out to them. We'll basically do like the first basis interview, kind of get to know the guy, talk to him a little bit, get his experience. And then we give our opinion to that owner. Like, hey, yeah, this guy seems like a good candidate, or this guy's a no-go, and we'll give the reason why. Whoever the owner at that point decides to go with, that's who we help hire on. We'll set up the drug testing. We'll set up, the MVR check, all the stuff that goes behind the scenes to bring in that driver on board. So that's one thing we do. We've even managed the entire factoring process for some fleets for their entire pay. So they will just give us access to their factoring company site, and we will factor everything for them. They'll have a payday within the next 2 days. We submit all the invoices, all the BOLs and everything, and make sure that their factoring is paying them out. So that's another thing. And then you have Legal Shield up as well. So Legal Shield is something that's fairly new. I was browsing just through other services, other, transportation services out there. Somebody had mentioned the term Legal Shield once, and I Googled it, I found it, and I just submitted an inquiry. They must have Googled me, or I don't know, looked at my site and reached out. And they're like, hey, you know what? We don't want to offer you an affiliate program opportunity. We want to partner with you. We really like what you do. Yeah, your services are very different from I guess traditional dispatch services, and we would like a partnership. So I did have to go through training and go through that whole process to be able to offer the product for the commercial driver's licenses. So I went through that, and they're really great products what they do. So many people do not even know that this exists. I didn't know that it existed until I read on what they did and what that CDLP offers. So it's not only for CDL holders. I know it says commercial drivers legal plan, but you have hotshot drivers, you have box truck drivers that are non-CDL. So the CDL plan, it benefits anyone who is doing a income producing activity. If you're driving a box truck that you don't require CDL or a hotshot, you can get this plan and it'll still protect your license. So for CDL holders, CSA is a major benefit. I talked to a driver a couple of days ago who had 90 CSA points. So the CSA goes from 0 to 100, 100 being, of course, the worst, right? Your CDL isn't at risk. You're not at risk of losing the CDL, but it does put a strain on your employment. You know, you're looking for a job, they're going to see those points and you're a walking red flag. You know, that can really harm you. And that, so a lot of guys, they don't really know how that CSA point system works until you tell them, right? So they, that plan that you have pulled up there, the commercial driver's legal plan, it helps drivers with not only their CSA score, but it helps them with DOT, non-moving violations. It helps them with overweight, over width, over height. You know, so those carriers that are hauling those big loads, this is good for you. You know, it will help with it has so many benefits included with the CDLP that I think that the biggest benefit to this again is that CSA, because CSA points will be on your license for 3 years, even if you're a driver. You're a driver.
So it's kind of like a credit check for a driver.
It is,
Like,
yeah. So apart from running the MVR, they will run that against your CSA, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, you know what, Joe, you have 83 points. You're going to cost our insurance to go up. Your liability, you know, the list goes on." So to have those CSA points at minimum, it's the best. When a driver, when he gets onto this plan, when he rolls into this plan, he does have an 11-day grace period, right? Once that 11-day mark hits, let's say he gets a citation, all the guy has to do, they're given an app. They log into their app. All they got to do is literally take a picture with their phone, with the app, and it goes straight to the law firm. Within a few hours, the law firm's CSR, their customer service rep, will call that driver just to verify some information, and then it gets assigned to the attorney right away. They take care of the rest. That's it.
that's pretty incredible.
That's all they got to do. You know, especially OTR guys, if they are based in Texas and they get that ticket in Florida, I mean, are they really going to have to take time off of work to, you know, get to Florida, go through all those proceedings? No. The main goal with these attorneys is no court. Like, they don't want to go to court. Well, who wants to go to court, right? So they try to take care of everything over the phone, through email, and those tickets. You'd be surprised how many of those tickets do go away with this plan. I don't want to say how many, but yeah, it's a great benefit. Yeah.
But yeah, $30 compared to hundreds of dollars traveling all across these states to go see the court. That's insane.
It is. And then they also, so, you know, you're CDL holder, right? Let's say you're a driver, but you're also an owner operator. They do have a product that's for small business owners as well. That's a product that I have for my businesses. And as an owner operator, you are a business, right? You're running the entire operation of your business. So the CDL plan, that's for your license. But the small business product, that's going to take care of your business itself. So contracts, if you write your own contracts, I know that was a mistake I did very, very early on. I wrote my own contract and then I thought it sounded right and it wasn't, right? So
we ain't lawyers.
Yeah, you write your own contract. You can send these contracts to your attorney and be like, hey, look this over. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. This is what I'm trying to say. They will tell you, yes, no, let's change this. No, you can't say that. You know, they'll review that contract for you. They assist with IRS auditing. That's a big one. That's a big one for small business. Yeah. They'll assist with, like, if you're going to be hiring on employees, right? They'll assist with employment hiring. And another big thing that they do is, let's say you have some, I don't know, in my field, a carrier who didn't pay me. Well, they will send out collection letters to that carrier so that they can get paid. Yeah. So
$30.
Good stuff. Yeah.
That's a good investment.
Yeah, it is. It's not very expensive at all. For the CDL, it's like $32 a month. For the small business, It's like the smallest package they have. They have 3 packages that they offer. The smallest one's like $50 a month, and that is more than enough with that package. Right.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But sweet, I want to say I've had something like this before. I told you, Jessica, when I first started driving, and I had a program like this, and I got an overweight ticket in Joplin, Missouri, and I used that, and it was back then it was $12 a month, and they got the whole thing thrown out for basically court cost, and it was going to be well over $1,000 ticket. So
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it, and I didn't realize that there was so much more involved with it, like the contracting, like you said, and right here, the license reinstatement, all these
Yeah.
things, the personal injury, the collections that you just talked about. So, I mean, I agree with Hunter. What an incredible value, and if for any of you carriers out there, you're watching or you're going to watch this later, we're going to run Jessica on our show as a sponsor as well, and we're going to blast her stuff all over the show and all over our group. And y'all make sure that you reach out to her, not only for this driver plan with the Legal Shield that she has, which, I mean, $32 a month for the peace of mind that it offers, especially you owner operators. That's incredible. Actually, speaking of that, do y'all have like a group discount? What if like a fleet of 50 trucks wanted to sign up? Would it be
Yes.
30 for each or what?
Yeah. So if it's a group, then it goes to $29.95 a month for a group. And let's say there's a fleet of 5, for example, and these 5 CDL holders, they get that group plan at $29.95. If they decide to leave that company, they go work for somebody else or whatever, they will still keep that same rate. The rate doesn't go up.
Sweet, that's cool, man. I like that. Ain't nothing like saving cheddar.
It's like I talk to so many drivers, I mean, on a daily basis, regularly, right? It's really it like baffles me how they're not very educated on what goes behind the CDL stuff. They really don't know. They go to CDL school. I don't have a CDL. I don't know what's taught in a CDL school, right? But they go to CDL school, they come out with their CDL, and they're as soon as they're out of CDL school, they are a walking target. They're not going to ever get pulled over just for a don't do that again. This is a warning. They're always going to find something either wrong with the hours of service, with the truck. They're going to go through all of that. They're going to find something to get that driver for.
So that also apply to like companies like Swift or, some of these bigger cats,
Yeah.
These bigger corporations. Same deal.
It
Just
doesn't
an
matter.
individual driver.
Doesn't matter who you're working for, who you're working with. If you have a CDL, you're all in the same boat.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Does that roll over to like your personal driving as well? Like if I'm
Yes. So if you have a CDL and you get on this plan, right, it will cover you and your spouse in and out of your rig. So if you are, let's say you're a driver and you're on the weekend, you're in your pickup truck, you get pulled over, they're not going to treat your license any different. You still have a CDL. You're still in possession of a CDL. So
Right.
they're going, whatever citation they give you, it's going to affect your CDL. So yeah, it'll protect you in and out the rig for you and your spouse. Your spouse does not have to be a CDL holder. It just helps with her as a license holder.
Jessica is basically just a one-stop damn shop. That's all she is. She's like, dude, I'll help you find a job. I'll help you keep a job. I'll help your ass stay out of jail. Like,
Rob, we need to start letting the dispatchers back in the group so they can watch this, man.
I
Yeah.
know.
Just slinging freight. You got to take care of your people.
Yeah, I mean, and see, this is the way I think of it. The real pandemic will be if these drivers all decide to stop operation. When that happens and our country goes to shit, that's when the real pandemic starts, because they're the ones that literally will run this country. Like, you like your toilet paper, right? Well, who brought it? It was a truck driver.
Oh no, they were slapping.
Look, that's so funny you brought that
They were
up.
slacking their coat on the TP runs.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had more toilet paper freight this year than ever before. And my boss was like, do you think there's going to be another pandemic? I was like, I hope not. But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, but everything that you have in sight, everything that you eat, everything was brought to you by a trucker.
We said it last night. If you bought it, a truck brought it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very true. So, like, why would you not want to service them? I think that a lot of times drivers, they get the bad end of the stick, they really do. And especially now with these rates, I mean, these rates are the worst. I mean, they're really, really bad right now. And it's, they're the ones that are suffering because they still have to keep their job. They still have to work, right? But they have to do it.
Depends on what trucker you're talking to, because we've had some cats on here that are ripping heads off.
And good for them, honestly. But you do have those guys that will pretty much, oh, I'll take it.
Yeah. You got to have that dog inside of you. Go out there and get it.
You got to know what your rate per mile is, too. I get a lot of guys that say, well, I won't haul anything for less than $4 a mile. I'm like, okay, well, do you know what's going on right now? Like, you got to come back to reality, sir.
AccuBid Pro.
We got to hook you up. We got to hook you up with our guy Jimmy with AccuBid Pro. He's going to be a sponsor at the same time you are. He literally designed an app that helps drivers figure out their cost per mile, what rates they need to be at for specific lanes, like all this cool shit. We're going to hook you up with Jimmy, and you two will be able to collaborate and really, really do some damage in that specific arena.
That'll be really good, because the truth is, a lot of guys, they don't really know that number. They do not know that number. They want to just go off of a number that sounds good. And I'm like, yeah, who doesn't want to make more money? Who doesn't want the best rate per mile? But what does it take for your truck to run and be profitable? Now, there's needs and wants. Of course, you're always going to give the rate that you want, but what's the rate that your negotiating rate that you actually need for that truck to make something for you? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. You and Jimmy are going to be best friends here, because he's talking, these drivers, though, they might get that rate, but at the same time, just like with your drivers, making $15K, in 1 month, but the next month they only make,
that wasn't
$2K.
That was in a month. That was weekly.
Wow. Maybe I've
had carriers make 14,000, 15,000 1 week for a couple weeks, and then you get your 2,000 week. You go up to 8,000, then you come back to 3. It's a very up and down. It fluctuates.
Yeah, but so what Jimmy was talking about, and that's with AccuBid Pro. He's talking about these carriers pulling out of their business accounts. They're spending the money that they need for their operation, and they have no idea about it, and just like with the rates, like you're talking about, they will just pull anything they see off DAT or Truckstop or Truckload.com, whatever it might, may be. And in reality, if they did have that breakdown, that model of their business, their truck is their office, that is their business, that's what they need. You could win so much freight and still be bringing home a lot of money, because
right.
You got a busy lane. Let's say California to freaking South Carolina, like hot lane. Yeah. Everybody's quoting the same thing, but if you come in just a bit lower, you're going to win that freight every single time, and you're still going to meet your bottom line.
Well, yeah, and see, they're always going to want to go with the lowest bidder. Like if I'm bidding $1.80, but you come in at $3, it's not going to make sense for a broker to give that to you at $3 when they can find a carrier to do it for $1.80.
You got to be careful with that $1.80, because if it's that 5-finger word, too good to be true, I'm always checking that out. But yeah, it's a tricky business, but it is the business, and you need to know your business. You need to know your money. You need to know your budget. Is that something that you help your carriers out with ever?
Yeah, so I'll give them, a lot of times I don't get so much into what their expenses are, because those expenses, they vary depending on what they are. If they're OTR guys, if they're frac sand guys, whatever they are, those expenses are going to vary. But if they really do want me to analyze those expenses and give them where their rate per mile has to be, I'll take a look at those things and kind of give them. It's not going to be the same thing. Like, you're not always going to be like, hey, you're always going to be at $2.58 a mile, because if that fuel goes up, you got to take all that into account, right?
Yeah.
So I will analyze their expenses versus their income and kind of give them like where I think that they should be at. But dealing with drivers all day long, you do have some that are like, yeah, that makes
I
sense.
need this.
And then you have those that are like, no. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. So are you primarily working with like owner operators on that side, or are you also working with fleets like on your both?
Both. So I'll work with single owner operators, and then I'll work with fleets that have just any amount of trucks. Yeah. So the biggest fleet that I work with currently, they have 30 trucks. And then I work with fleets of like 5, 2 trucks. It just really depends on what they have. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll build fleets as well. So that's a trick that a lot of dispatchers don't know. You have 4 or 5 different owner operators. You can actually get with all of them and be like, hey, you know what? I have this really good lane that's being presented to me, but they need 5 trucks. Do y'all want to group together, come together so we can build this one fleet? That way we can get that contract. And everybody makes money.
How's that conversation go? Do you get them all in one big phone call like this, or you talk to them individually?
No,
take them out to Applebee's.
No, I'll reach out to them one by one, and 90% of my carriers are from word of mouth. They're referred to me by another carrier from another carrier. So
there you go.
They know who I am. They already have gotten the talk of what I can do and how I help this person. So if that ever needs to happen, I'll just be like, hey, you, and you, and you, this is what we need to do to get this contract. Who wants to do it? And then we'll kind of just build that fleet for that contract.
Now at Bluebonnet, are you a single operation, or do you have people helping you out with this? Or
so I'm a single operation right now, except for I have an assistant named Shelly. Shelly just does my invoicing. She does my billing. She does some of my email, stuff like that. She doesn't do hands-on with like the physical dispatching and dealing with the drivers. But before the end of this year, I am going to be bringing on 2 more full-time remote dispatchers. So if there's anyone out there that is interested, my contact information is somewhere on there. They can reach out to me. Now I do train, I do mentor, but for this position, they have to be fully experienced. I need them to come in, hit the ground running. So they will need to have experience already. And I'm trying to increase my whole team, because with all these opportunities that are coming, with the growth of my organization, I do have to grow my team. I'm talking about, all the frac sand guys that I have currently on sites, and then I've just gotten into government contracting. I don't want to have to let one go for the other just because it's me. I need to grow my team.
So are you, me as a broker, I'm about to get back into OTR. I've talked Freight Mango into getting DAT finally. We're going to start, as international doing drayage. I want to get back into truckload for full scale service. Could you build me a fleet if I had the business available?
Can I what? I'm sorry?
Could you build me a fleet if I had the business available, or do you mainly just go direct?
No, it depends. Yeah, it depends on what you have to offer. I present it to the guys. I have some that are be like, no, I'm not doing that. But then I have some that are very open-minded. So yeah, if whatever that job is, I just present it to some guys, and then they'll be all yours. They'll be all yours.
Well, I got to jump off here in a minute, guys, because my wife needs to go to bed because she has to get up and work on Eastern time. If y'all want to stay on, you can, but I need to get off. Some old lady can go to bed.
Okay.
All good, brother. All good.
Okay. Well, are you married, Jessica?
I am.
Okay. Well, then you know how it is. You gotta be flexible for your spouse.
You do. Yes. So you're doing a good job.
Yeah. Well, she has to get up early. She works for a cruise line, and so she has to be at work, like I said, Eastern time, because out of Miami. So she has to go to bed early so she can get up and do that stuff. So, but I mean, we're pretty close to our end anyway. We usually run for about an hour, except for on Fridays, anyhow.
Yeah.
But
I'll take care of that wife.
I just want to say before I get off, Jessica, I loved all the information that you put out. I really do want to have you back on the show, which we will. For sure, when we start running your ad stuff, we'll bring you back on and dig a little deeper into some other things and maybe just cover some of the same stuff again. I mean, I think it's always good to put that out here. Actually, I would love to have her and Jimmy on at the same time with AccuBid. That would be some cool shit right there.
Dude, we're like the logistics eHarmony over here,
Dude,
just making them relationships.
hooking businesses up. I know that's for fucking show, man.
Absolutely.
Everybody, Jessica, her information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you just go on Facebook and search Bluebonnet Carrier Management, you will also be able to find her there. Her main page, Bluebonnet, will also take you over to her legal page with all the information for her driver program and all of that stuff. If you're just now tuning in, I strongly advise you to go back, watch the whole show with Jessica on it. She put out some stellar fucking information. All you people, power only guys, that are really looking for some great opportunities. Jessica's got her hand in the frac stuff, so that's a good thing to be involved in. If you're looking to help build your fleet, she can help you there. Pretty much anything you need, Jessica is I don't want to say the man, but the man.
I'll take it.
You know what I mean? So, but before we chop out, we're going to go ahead and again give a shout out to our sponsor, Freight Management Systems. They have an incredible TMS. We tell you every single time. And we're going to go ahead and show our little thing from them with their info, and y'all hit them up. Boom, baby. Man, I never get tired of that. And our other sponsor, Karen Cole with Karen and King Insurance, hooking y'all up with that commercial truck insurance, amongst other things. But y'all definitely give her a shout out as well. She really knows what she's doing and really help you drivers save on what is one of the biggest expenses out there, and that is your insurance cost.
Karen King.
Boom, baby. Boom, Jessica. We're gonna have a sick video for you. You just wait. We're gonna have an amazing video for you. And
I believe it.
You a fellow Texan girl. You know I'm gonna take care of you. If not, I'm only like a 3-hour drive. She come up here and kick my ass. Hey, I say 3 hours. For any of you that live in other states, that may sound like a while, but in Texas, that's a fucking day trip. You know what I mean? Like we do 3 hours just because, you know.
You spend 3 hours in traffic sometimes.
I know you're right, especially down in Houston, boy. That shit is. I saw a thing the other day. Just it said, "Did you know that Houston is an hour from Houston?"
It is. Oh yeah, you're not lying.
Oh, that shit's so fun. I got family lives in Crosby. The buddy I run a truck with, he lives in Humble. That's right. It's pronounced Humble. It's not humble.
It's not humble. It's humble.
I know it's so annoying when people just like Mahia, people pronounce it Mexia. It's like what's fucking wrong?
Yeah, I used to live in Humble, so I know.
Yes. So yeah, I know all about H-Town. I've spent a lot of time there. But Jessica, we really, really appreciate you coming on the show again and all the things that you had to share with us and our wonderful, wonderful Logistic Lounge viewers. We hope you enjoyed your time in the lounge. I know you watch. Next time, we better see that damn beard on you, though. Like, remember, that's the rule. You can't come on Logistics Lounge now if you have a beard. Like, everybody but you and Karen has had beards.
I mean, it'd be weird if we naturally had one, right?
It would be. You're right. It would so be. Yes.
Not the Henry Sheldon though.
I was just about to say, not the Henry. He could hook you up with the carnival. Oh man. Anyway, we're going to be out of here. Jessica, you have a fantabulous, super fantastic, expialidocious night. Hunter, my brother from another mother, I will catch you in as the kids say, I'll slide into your DMs.
Oh yeah, and before we go, Dean Shee, check in with us on Friday. That's our time to really cut the cheese, get it going. All our dispatchers out there, definitely tune in. We're gonna have Jessica's information across the board. She's looking for 2 remote dispatchers. And the hell, if I was one, I would want to work for that woman. That one right there. So
we're definitely, hey Jessica, you're gonna have to send me like your business email, and we will do that. We'll name drop you and stuff. Try to help you find some dispatchers. I actually met a group with a bunch of dispatchers, like actual really good people. They're trained by a friend of mine named Sam May. Guy knows what he's doing. He does shit legal, and so yeah, I should definitely actually be able to help you with that. But send me your personal email. I don't know if I got it or not.
Yeah,
but
I'll send you my email.
Okay, yeah, cool. And then we'll hook that stuff up for you and see if we can help you out. And then when I come down there to Houston, you and your husband can take me out for beer and barbecue.
Oh, you know our barbecue's the best.
I know that's right. Hey, no,
come to Tennessee, baby. Come to Tennessee.
Y'all know shit. Nobody knows nothing about no Texas BBQ, baby.
Right.
Anyway, Hunter, you want to roll that final beautiful bean footage?
Oh yeah. Peace out.